Welcome to the Compass e-learning series. This session will introduce the reporting possibilities in Compass. There are some differences in the specific reports that are available in various Compass products, but this session covers all versions. Before jumping in, let's quickly review 3 ways that Compass reports will help you succeed. Compass reports are designed to show performance, what's going well, what needs improvement, strengths and weaknesses. Beyond that, Compass reports will show you plans and identify risks. They show how the past leads into the future, what is expected, and what is required. And perhaps most importantly, the reports can stimulate conversation and creativity by helping you test ideas and seeing the impact. For this to work, reports must be easy to understand, available quickly, and always accurate. This is what Compass is designed to do, and in the next few minutes you'll see exactly how. This session will focus on reports available from the Compass report menu. These reports are fully automated and completely accurate. They cover a broad spectrum with countless options. But Compass also supports 3 other options for report delivery and automation that will not be covered in this overview tutorial. The Executive Dashboard is web-based and features compelling analysis of both past and future performance. The Excel add-in provides functions in Excel that immediately update the spreadsheet from a Compass database whenever you open the spreadsheet in Excel. And the Report Designer and Ratio Designer let you build your own reports for analysis. This is especially useful if you need to look at trends from several different reports, focus on certain items like loans or deposits, or build ratios that are unique for your bank. So if you don't see every report that you want in this session, give PlanSmith a call and a member of our support staff will help you find the best tool to produce it for you. But first, let's take a look at how easily you can get what you need directly from Compass. You can access the Reports area of Compass either by clicking the Reports button on the navigational toolbar or selecting Reporting from the menu bar. There are 10 categories of reports in Compass. Let's start with one of the most often used types of report, financial reports. These reports include balance sheets, income statements, and capital reports that cover either a single point in time or a range of time periods in chronological order. You can select any report by clicking its name. For example, I'll select Balance Sheet. Now I can see the report in the viewing pane, and if I don't like the way it looks, I can change it before wasting any time or paper. In this case, I want a more detailed report than the summary I see. So to change the content of a report, I right-click on the report name. Select Properties, then choose the Level of Detail option. I'll change this report from Summary to Intermediate 1. To see the impact of the change, I can click either Save As, Save, or Preview. But Preview doesn't save any changes that I made, and I know I'll want to use this format again, so I'll click Save As. I'll call this new version Balance Sheet Medium Detail. This new report doesn't have the red T in the icon, so I can tell that it's a variation of one of the standard reports in Compass. And I can save as many different versions of these reports as I want. Next, I'm going to review some report information before I actually print the report. I know asset growth is a major goal this year, so I'm just going to create a graph of assets by double-clicking on the total assets line. Then I'll click the arrow next to the printer and I'll select Clipboard so that I can paste this graph into my PowerPoint presentation. Now I want to look at both loans and deposits in a single chart. So I'll right-click on Net Loans and Leases and mark that row for a chart. Then I'll mark the total deposits line for a chart. And then I'll select Build the Chart. Now I can see both loans and deposits on one graph. And it looks like our deposits aren't growing as fast as the loans, so this is something we should discuss at our management meeting. I'm just going to print this graph. Well, okay, now I'll print the whole report by clicking the Printer button that appears in the navigational toolbar whenever a report is visible in the view pane. Let's move on to another report. I'll select Income Statement. Now, we've been making a lot of changes, and I know that there are a few versions of this income statement that are on my desk here. Just to keep them straight, I want to add today's date to the report footer. So I'll right-click on Income Statement, select Properties, and then click the Header button. I'll scroll down to the markers list to find the code for the current date. Oh, there it is. I see that it's date NN. So I'll just add that code to the footer along with those brackets. That way it will appear in my footer, and I can tell that I'm using the latest date. Footers are not visible in the View pane, so just to double check, I'm going to click Print Preview from the Print Options drop-down. And that's that little button with the down arrow to the right of the printer icon. While I'm in the Print Preview mode, I could also use the Page Setup button to change the report orientation, from landscape to portrait, or if I wanted to change the margins or justification of the headers or footers. Finally, instead of printing this report, I'm going to export it to Excel because I want to use the numbers in the report to drive some spreadsheet calculations for some other things that I'm working on. I just select Excel from the Print option drop-down, and a wizard will let me select or create a new Excel workbook, and then select the location, page, or range in that workbook where I want this data to appear. This export option is also available whenever I have a report in the View pane. It's on the Printer drop-down. Let's move on to another type of Compass report, a variance report. I'll activate income variance by double-clicking it. Variance report compares actual to budget performance or for one period of time to another. This example compares the most recent month actual to budget, the year-to-date actual to budget, and the year-to-date this year compared to last year. This is a very common format for board reports. You can see the amounts, the dollar differences, and the percentage differences for each line item. Here we're looking at a summary level of detail, but property choices let you change the amount of detail as well as the date range and the data type of comparison. For example, I could change the comparison from budget last month to actual 2 months ago so that I can see my change from month to month. Variance reports are great for tracking progress relative to goals. If I scroll down to net income, for example, I can see that our sample bank's monthly net income increased by about $1,500 from July to August, so that's good. And so far this year, I'm ahead of budget by $278,000. That's almost 36%. Looks like a good bonus. And this year to date is $161,000, or about 18% better than last year. Knowing that, I can scan the report and just see just why we're getting that difference. And I see that the biggest single factor is that we've not needed to make a provision for loan losses as we'd planned. But I also notice that loan income is a little less than we planned, and it's less than last year. We could run this variance report at a higher level of detail and see which loan categories are the major problem, but I can get even more information by looking at another type of variance report called the simple variance report. We'll look at an example set to compare last month's budget to actual performance. Looking at loans, I see that the amount of loans is $3,304,000 lower than our budget last month, and the yield was 11 basis lower than budget. Interest income was $28,000 lower. That's quite a piece of change. So if we look at what caused this variance, $10,000 of the variance is caused by the fact that we missed our volume target in amount of loans by $3 million. $16,000 is caused by the lower yield, and $1,600 is a variance that's caused by the combination of the factors. Ironically, the solution might be to lower our rates even more because we really need to get some more loan volume, but this will make the yield variance even higher, but the higher income of the volume might well offset that. Don't know for sure, but we can test this strategy by changing our projections in Compass and looking at these variance reports in the future rather than the history. Let's move on to some other reports that are in Compass. Rate reports let you review the past and future yields and costs on the funding items in your balance sheet, both assets and liabilities. Budget Compass Plus and Financial Compass clients can also review offering rates. The difference between offering rates and yields are that offering rates are the rates on the new transactions that you're booking, whereas yields and costs are the average rates on the entire portfolio. Analysis reports are useful for auditing or understanding the details of the Compass calculations and the underlying math. Summary reports can give you a high-level analysis of changes over the year, the impact on your most recent revisions, or a comparison between three different sets of market rate projections that are stored in the RateWorks section of Compass. I particularly like the annual activity report. It shows you the amount of runoff that consists of maturities and monthly payments and so forth that I have to cover in addition to just the change in balances from month to month. For example, we need to make new or renewed loans of almost $18 million, even though total loans are dropping from $138 million to $136 million by the end of this year. Like most reports, you can change the properties to see more details if you want. For example, here's our Intermediate 1 level of detail. The next category, Assumption Reports, makes it easy to document comprehensive details of assumptions that are used in your model. These reports can be used when you do your annual review of your assumptions, and they also support model validations and exams. The area also includes a report that will list all of the notes that you've made when working in the projections area of Compass. Let's go up to the top and look at Chart of Accounts. This is great when you're doing the annual assumption review, or when someone is new to the model. It's a great way for them to see the setup of various accounts. Financial Compass clients will see a rate risk section. That includes a comprehensive set of reports relating to GAAP, rate shock margin, and economic value of equity analysis. It covers parallel, non-parallel, and multi-year shocks. Let's look at a summary report and we can see our results compared to our bank's policy limits. Budget Compass Plus and Financial Compass users will also see a charts section in reports. In this section, you can add or review charts from an extensive menu by clicking the Adjust Chart button. Charts in this area can be customized by right-clicking the chart name and selecting Properties. For example, let's just change the range for the average assets chart from 12 months to 60 months. There's an option to include previous compute results that's really great for visualizing the impact of changes you make during a planning session. You can also move to the Appearance Choices tab and change graph styles and colors. For example, let's just switch from a bar chart here to a line chart. Here's the new format, just like that. This new format will be saved until we change it again. Let's conclude with a look at the last folder, Scripts. A report script is a group of reports that you can print in a single process. This will eliminate the time that it takes to find reports in the various sections of the report menu. It'll also make sure that all the reports are printed, you don't leave any out, and they're in the exact order that you choose. Scripts can include any combination of tabular reports or colorful graphs. There's no limit on the number of scripts you can create in Compass, and the process is really easy once you know how it works. Our institution already has a number of report scripts, but you may not have any at all. No problem. You can easily create one just by clicking Create a Script, and a dialog box will appear. Let's create a new script called Management Reports. You add reports to the script by going up to the top section of the report menu and right-clicking on the name of the report you want to add to the script. When you right-click, you select Copy for Script. Then you go down to the script and right-click the name of the script and select Paste to Script. The report's going to be pasted after any reports that were already in that particular script. Now, if you want to put a new report somewhere else in the script, you can also right-click on any existing report in the script, and the pasted report will appear right above the report that you clicked on. You can always right-click any report in the script and delete it, You can also change the report properties in the script. Then you can print the script at any time you want it by double-clicking on the script name. A script viewer window will be created, and it has its own printer button. Clicking that printer button will just print the one report that you're viewing, but you can print or export entire sets of reports or even print multiple copies of sets of reports by selecting options that appear when you click the arrow next to the printer. Print script will print the entire script of reports, and export script will send everything to Excel. You can even use the Compass Script Viewer to present a slideshow. Now that you know how to create a script, consider adding another script for any group of reports that you use several times during the year. Remember that you can include both reports and graphs in a single script. We've covered a lot of ground in the past few minutes, but feel free to experiment with these reports and graphs. In Compass, you'll always be able to see a report before you print it. So look for new and more effective ways to provide the exact information needed for your review, to communicate plans, and to stimulate discussion of the alternatives. Compass puts your actual results and your budget goals and your updated projections at your fingertips to be viewed at any level of detail you need. Consider a combination of reports and visual presentations delivered on both paper and on a screen to get the maximum impact. PlanSmith Compass support staff will help you through the process. Give us a call or use any of the links shown on this screen. And, as always, thanks for being a PlanSmith client.